Welcome to the Randall Platoon podcast. I'm James White along with Sojourn Shelton, Warrening, bringing you Badger football news and more. Big dub from the Badgers this week after a 2-game skid. But the boys held it down. They competed. They found a way to finish. Before we get into that game, just want to check in with the fellas, chop it up, talk about some college football. You know, we're in November. Last week of the season's upcoming. So the Heisman, that's a big talk. So I don't know who's you guys' favorite right now. I'd say it's probably Michael Penix, Bo Nix, Marvin Harrison Jr. Who else am I missing out of there?
J.J. McCarthy from Michigan.
J.J. McCarthy probably in there, but he
from LSU.
took a step back. Yeah, he took a Jaden Daniels too. He been balling. You gotta give him a lot of credit. So I don't know who's your favorite. I like Michael Penix right now. The way he's had his team competing all year long, they're undefeated. They beat some ranked teams, and every week, you know, he's throwing the rock all over the field. So he's been impressive to me. I don't know who's your favorite right now in the Heisman race.
I gotta go Bo Nix, man. You know, just even this past week, I think he threw or contributed a total of 6 touchdowns. Obviously, you know, Oregon's always been a stat padding team as when it comes to throwing the ball and distributing it. And you know, their only loss so far was to, you know, Washington in the game that they could have won. So obviously, with so much coming into a factor these last 2 weeks, I think they'll be playing each other again, maybe in the Pac-12 championship. So it's gonna get real interesting. But I gotta go Bo, man.
About you, Juan? Who you think top dog right now?
Man, I'm gonna have to go with Penix. I mean, the dude's been balling all year. I mean, he's got Washington undefeated right now. I mean, he's been playing out of his mind. I mean, especially from a stat standpoint. I'm excited to see what he does in that conference championship game because it'll be. Well, I mean, they got another week, but I'm pretty sure they'll probably make the conference championship.
Yeah.
But
I don't know who
they're gonna play, but
they're gonna play. If Oregon, they're gonna play Oregon.
They're gonna play Oregon, bro. To see what he does on the big stage, you know, with the lights, you know what I'm saying? See how he plays come game time. But I'm liking Penix a lot.
Yeah, I think you can't forget about Jaden Daniels too from LSU.
Yeah,
that dude, he been balling. I know they got the 3 losses, but statistically, he might be the best one out of them all. He got almost 600 yards rushing, 30 touchdowns. So that little skinny dude, he been balling out there, man. He takes some shots though. I be seeing every week. He be getting folded up, but he's still
I was watching the game this past week. It was like a 3rd and 4 or something like that. He literally dropping his shoulder like he a running back. I'm like, bro. But yeah, it's some guys out there. You know, shout out to all those guys for, you know, just putting together the seasons that they having. Right, that's what college football is about. You know, trying to get to that. You know, trying to get to December and be in that Heisman race. We all know, I'm sure all of us have dreamed about that, but it's a special group of young men that is able to get into that conversation. So if you're able to, you know, crack in that door and get an invite, you know, all power to you, because I know we know it ain't easy.
Yeah. For sure. I would love to say Marvin Harrison, bro. He's on a whole nother level as a receiver, bro. Would love to see him win the Heisman for sure. But bro, it's a quarterback award. It is what it is. Obviously, Devontae Smith won it, but it's a quarterback award at the end of the day. So
yeah, it's tough. It's tough for any other position to win.
For sure.
Speaking of Marvin Harrison Jr., it's a big week in the Big Ten. You know, the game is what they call it. Ohio State, Michigan. This week, both teams undefeated. You know, fighting to get into the Big Ten championship, fighting to get into the college football playoff. I don't know what's you guys' thoughts on this one. You know, Michigan, they played their first, you know, full 4-quarter games against Penn State, and then this past week against Maryland. Maryland gave them a run for their money, and offensively they took a step back, in my opinion, and Maryland was able to get behind them a few times in their passing game. So it's going to be a good football game. I know Ohio State's quarterback, Kyle McCord, he's been getting better throughout the year. You got Travion Henderson, they back. He looking healthier than ever. The dude, he running through stuff. He looking like how Michigan backs looked last season. So I don't know what's you guys' idea of this matchup coming up this week. Obviously, there's a lot of implications. I think even if one of them, whoever loses this football game, still may have an opportunity to make it to the college football playoff. They both made it last year. So I don't know who you guys think going to win this football game.
I'm going to go with Old State, man. And it's just how they've been looking these last couple weeks. Obviously, you know, as the season builds on, guys get, you know, comfortable with each other. And it just looks like the quarterback and that receiver group is really starting to click. And then, like you said, with Trey Henderson, the way that he's running now, he's, like you said, he's looking healthier than ever, and he's starting to, put together those full games as a back. So I just think offensively, they're going to be extremely hard to stop. They got Marvin on the outside, and Buka is starting to play. I know he was dealing with injuries, and he's starting to, play big and, contribute into, the offensive game. So I'm actually looking forward to this game a lot, man. This is going to be a good game. Obviously, 12 o'clock game, right? It's bright and early. It's off the jump. So they're getting right to it, man. And then just how everything's been going. I think Michigan's won the past 2 years. 2 years. So I just know how much that game means to, both those programs. So it's going to be real exciting.
About you, Warren, what's your thoughts on the game is what they call it?
Bro, hey, I'm going the other way. I think Michigan might make it 3 in a row. I mean, the only reason I say that, bro, they've been playing lights out all season. I mean, I know, we talked about, who they've played and things like that, but, they beat a really good Penn State football team, like, pretty good. And, truth be told, like, my big question mark personally is on Ohio State's quarterback situation. Not situation, obviously they had a starter and things. I still think Kyle McCord, like, ain't his best yet. Again, he is building a great relationship with his receivers, but I think that's a spot that Michigan can really take advantage of. They get good pressure, and they will get pressure. They had great athletes on the back end to get in position to make plays. They've been doing it all year. So, I mean, me personally, I think that Michigan is going to win this game. I think it's going to be close. Obviously, some of the games in the past haven't been as close, maybe. Michigan dominated, things like that. But I think it's going to be close, especially with now Emeka Egbuka being back, adding another weapon to the offense. Now you ain't going to be able to double Marv. You're going to have to play both because Egbuka is really good. But the way Michigan's running the ball, they're confident. They got all this stuff going on with their head coach. They're going to be playing with a chip on their shoulder. Then you're also playing in the big house. I think it's primed for Michigan to win again, to be honest.
Yeah, it's definitely a toss-up. I'm leaning with Soj. I'm leaning with Ohio State, man. I know they've had this game circled, the entire year. Ryan Day has lost to them back-to-back years. And at Ohio State, you judged on this game, game alone, as a head coach. He's 0-2 with back-to-back years. So, they've been preparing for this moment all year long. And a lot of the weight's going to fall on Kyle McCord's shoulders. I'm sure Michigan, I'm interested to see how they play. Are they going to try and limit the big plays in their passing game? Are they going to try and stop Trevion Henderson, load up the box, whatever it may be? But Kyle McCord is definitely going to have to make some throws in some tight windows if he wants to win this football game. And defensively for Ohio State, they've been balling all year long, but none of that matter until this game right here, how they handle this. Because they did decent last year, but when they played Michigan, things got a little bit loose. They letting them rip off 60-yard runs, 75-yard runs. So they're going to have to contain Blake Corum, Donovan Edwards if they want to win this football game. I think that's the big mystery is how is Ohio State's defense going to handle that Michigan run game that's starting to take a step up, as the season went on.
Last year they didn't have Blake, didn't they? They wasn't it Donovan Edwards?
Yeah, it was just Donovan Edwards.
Yeah. Bro, now you got Blake, bro. I think that's a difference.
And that's my key to this game, right? Because I feel like if you're Ohio State, do you think Michigan's quarterback is gonna beat you throwing? Like just all of what we've seen all year. Not saying that he can't throw the ball, but do you feel like you don't fear it as much, but I gotta stop that run game of Michigan. So I'm looking forward to seeing how Ohio State's DC, just as far as like the chess pieces, loading the box, having a light box, like how he's gonna, play and manipulate that to show, all these different looks, because Michigan these past couple weeks have relied and put all their chips into that run game. So stopping that run game is key.
Yeah, most definitely. Michigan's receiver core, to me, they got one guy that you need to stop, Roman Wilson, number one. He's their speed threat. Everybody else, I mean, they're good football players, but I like Ohio State's matchup against Michigan's receivers. I think the tight ends for Michigan are going to pose some problems for Ohio State. They got two dudes, them dudes like 6'5", 6'6", some big targets. I don't know if Ohio State necessarily has the guys at safety to match up with them, so that could be the X factor for Michigan. But enough of those guys. Let's get back to the Badgers. Like we said, they overtime win against Nebraska, 24-17. It was a tough start. You know, we was in a group chat. It was down 14-0. We're looking like it's gonna be another
Down
one
bad.
of those games.
Down
But,
bad.
You know, guys weren't competing. Like I wanted to see how the team was gonna respond, and for them, you know, I was proud because they could have just, you know, laid it down and
rolled over,
rolled over like they did against Northwestern. But these dudes, they buckled their chin straps. They stepped it up defensively. You know, offensively, they did enough. It wasn't, you know, too crazy of a performance from them. But like I said, I was impressed of the resiliency, you know, from coaching to the players. You know, Mordecai, Braylon Allen, you know, both battling injuries. They gutted it out. You know, Mordecai, like I said, he wasn't throwing the ball all over the field, but his QB runs, escapability, converting third downs. You know, Braylon on the stat sheet, you know, he didn't rush for over 100 yards. He didn't run for over 5 yards a carry, but his presence on the field made a difference. You know, converting the fourth down in overtime, getting some big third down conversion. So, I said, having Braylon on the field definitely makes a difference, healthy or not. So I got to give him a lot of credit for going out there and, you know, help willing the team to victory. I don't know what you guys' initial thoughts on the game versus Nebraska.
Yeah, like you said, extremely impressed. Just with all that's on the line, like the whole week I was thinking about this bowl streak that hasn't been really talked about, right? Like obviously us going to, I think, I want to say it was 27 consecutive bowl games, and that 27. Being 27, and that being in jeopardy, especially knowing the last two games. Obviously, you know, the trophy game, both of them trophy games, but just how this season's been going, that was so important to me, just to see these guys go out and, you know, compete and play with that pride. And then also for those seniors, like that is your last time you're going to be able to, you know, take the field at Camp Randall, and just knowing how special that place is, not only to us, but to just that program. You know, that's how you want to be remembered, and you want to go out no matter what's gone on in the past games. You know, that game, that senior night, and if you're a part of that senior group, that's how you want to go out. So, you know, big ups to them. Like you said, we were definitely for sure, you know, in that first half, just wondering like, man, what we gonna get, you know. But you know, those guys definitely bowled up, and you know, big ups to the Badgers, man. We love it. I know those guys love it, and you know, we just got to continue to build off of that.
About you, Warren, what's your thoughts on the game, man?
No, man, I'm extremely proud, man. It was amazing to watch the guys like fight adversity, you know, to be able to, especially after those 2 touchdowns in the first half. Hats off to Nebraska, bro. That quarterback was balling, bro. He was getting me.
Is that Purdy's little brother for real?
Yeah, bro.
Oh yeah, like
Purdy.
Trevor, that run was crazy.
Yeah, that 55-yard. Yeah, he was sliding. But
tight.
but no, I'm extremely proud of the guys, man. Like being able to come together and fight, buckle down. Like we said, we had some guys banged up that fought through injury, so you could see the toughness, you could see the drive, you could see the presence that Braylon had on the field. Obviously, you know, he probably didn't have the game he wanted, but man, proud of him. You know, he punched it in twice, got us on the board twice. Tanner Mordecai had some huge runs on the offensive end. It was great to see Will Pauling being consistent. I mean, like getting open. Obviously, there's some miscommunication here and there, but again, aside from that, man, played a great game. And then same thing for the defense to come back and just shut them out. You know, well, not shut them out in the second half, but keep them from getting into the end zone. You know, held them to 3 the whole second half when, you know, they're driving the ball down the field, being able to bow up and get some stops. I mean, you can't be more proud of that. You know, defensive leader leaves the game, Hunter Wohler, and you got guys that step in and step it up. So, dude, I'm proud of them, and I'm just glad, you know, continuing that bowl streak. Like that's the third longest active streak in the country right now, and that's like something to really hang your hat on as a program, to be in a bowl game 27 years running. So that's huge.
Yeah, man.
And we know how hard it is. Oh, go ahead, James. No, go ahead. We know how hard it is. Like people say, like only 6 wins. Like it's hard to win in college football, and obviously at the next level. But Big Ten football, like it's hard to win. So when you say 6 games, I know a lot of people's like, oh, it's only 6 games, but that is an accomplishment. And then another thing, I just want to give a hats off and a kudos to our running back group. Like you guys said, the presence for Braylon was definitely felt out there. It might not seem like that on the stat sheet, but he definitely did his big one and handled his job. And then with Jay Akers on the wheel route on the touchdown,
bro,
like all our scores,
crucial.
Our scores came from that group. So, I just want to give them a major, congratulations, just how much of an impact that they played in this game, just for us to be able to get that 6th win.
Yeah, most definitely. I thought the entire game shifted in the second quarter. Nebraska went for it on 4th down, on 4th and 1, and the defense got that stop. Then after that, that's when we went on that 17-point run. So I thought that was dope to see. I think it was Ricardo who initially got the running back in the backfield and got his feet. So it's just good team defense. And that just how you talk about it all the time. So it's momentum. Momentum in football. That junk is real. Like, you go for it on 4th down, you don't get it, the team go down and score, and you start playing on your heels a little bit. And we took it and we ran with it, dog. So I was impressed with that because there was still some question marks out there. Nebraska was having their way in the running game. They back Emmett Johnson was running it. They had 195-yard rushing. Chuba Purdy, he was running the ball. I thought that kid was impressive in his first start. Like, for Nebraska, the turnovers have been a huge issue. I know he had the interception at the end, but that was just trying to throw it up on 4th down, trying to make a play. But he protected the ball all game. If there was nothing there, he was trying to escape and use his legs to create a play. So I thought that kid handled his own. But hats off to the Badgers on a big win against Nebraska, we are keeping the Freedom Trophy. We had a number, man. I don't know what it's about Nebraska. We find a way to win those tight football games. But coming to this week, it's the Axe week. You know what I mean? We play Minnesota. This team, they lost to Ohio State. They got beat up. What was it? Let's see the score. It was 37-3. I mean, it's pretty much no contest, from the beginning of the football game. And this team, they're fighting to get in the bowl game right now. They're like us last week. They need one win to get in the bowl game. So I think this is everything you want as a Badger right here. You know what I mean? You got a little brother over there, even though they got the last 2 on us. We lost there on the road, and they beat us at home last year. We're playing on the road this year. So last game of the year, playing Minnesota, you beat them. You send them packing. Them boys not
send their ass packing. Excuse my language. Bleep that. Hey, Joey, bleep that out. Send their ass packing.
Send them packing. They don't go to a bowl game. So to me, this game is everything.
This is huge.
I don't know what y'all thought. So.
No. Go ahead, Bree.
Nah, this is huge. Like you said, obviously just how important the Axe is to both programs. But then the simple fact that if we can beat them and they won't go to a bowl game, like you said, send them packing. From this game, go take your final exams and go to where you from? Florida, Minnesota, California.
Enjoy vacation.
Enjoy your vacation. Enjoy your winter break. And then
hopefully you watch a lot of football, watch the bowl season.
Football, you know what I'm saying? And then come back in January when it's negative 10 degrees outside, and get back to working out and try again next year, right? So, this game is
good luck next time.
Good luck next time, right? So this game is extremely huge, and it's exciting, man. We know how much of a rivalry and how intense this thing is. So, I'm just excited to see the guys spend one more time, obviously again for the bowl, but one more time with so much at stake, because this Axe means everything to both programs.
What you thinking, Warren?
Bro, I ain't even got nothing to say. You already know how I feel, bro. They be talking, bro. We need to get that Axe back. We need to get that back into the trophy case. Got to get 2 of the 3, but this is the most important. Forget about the Freedom right now. Great, we have it. Forget about the Heartland. We need to get that back next year. We'll focus on that next year. But the Axe is the biggest trophy, the best trophy in the country. So let's go get it back in the trophy case. Send them boys across the bend or whatever they at. Send them packing, like Bree said. Send them home. Better luck next year, and you get your good luck on your finals. All that junk, bro. I don't like them, bro. I don't like them. They talk too much. They think they better than us. They're not. Never been. Never will be. You get every blind squirrel finds a nut. You won a couple of games. Or you won a couple of games last year. Last couple of years. Congratulations. We about to take it back, and we gonna get back to regular schedule programming. The boys should be breathing fire this week. This should be the best week. This is the perfect time to put together a 4-quarter game and blow them out by 45.
Yeah.
And don't let up. Don't let up.
Yeah, what they say, kick them while they down. Typically
kick them while kick them while they down.
Bro, this is what.
Hey, when it come to Minnesota, kick them while they down.
Beat them up while they down, man. Take advantage.
Tell them row that boat back to Minnesota.
And like I said, looking at the record books, I didn't realize the series is tied too, 62, 62, and 8. Yeah. So, like I said, it's a way to start taking it back over. I know back when when we were in school, we had went on like a 10, 11
10 boy, 10 in a row.
Streak.
Never lost.
I got a little story about that after. Go ahead.
You go ahead.
Oh, so you guys senior year, right? Like obviously, kid from Florida. I didn't know much about the rivalry until I got there. Obviously, the week comes up. I remember my freshman year. They had we finished our Thursday practice, and they had JJ and Russ come on the big screen. And, they said a little message and they showed highlights in their plays. And it was like, okay, I'm really starting to, feel the intensity. But getting out there in the game, like, bro, it's just real chippy. Like, It just seemed like any little thing, like every 2 plays, the ref trying to break somebody up or something like that. So, I just remember being in that game, which I know y'all remember how cold it was, bro. It was freezing. It was freezing, right? So we ended up beating them. And, 2 things. So, after we won that game, they wouldn't let us chop that. Remember, I don't know if you guys remember that. That was like we.
They didn't want to let you chop the elbows down.
We really almost got into a full blown out there brawl.
And they would have lost.
They would have lost for sure.
Facts.
We was too deep. But Chris Borland, right? He runs over. He grabs a whiteboard. And I want to. He either writes 12 straight or 13 straight. And he's like, Sojourn here, and puts me on his shoulders. So
I remember that.
So he got me walking around the stadium with this board up saying this, like 13 straight. And I just remember Coach Strick, who was at the time my DB coach, he was like, boy, you just don't know you done put a target on your back for the whole time here. So I'm just like, oh shoot. But I just remember hearing Dad say, like, one thing Dad was saying, he was like, they definitely getting better. Like, just from, the previous times y'all were playing them, he was like, he's starting to see their improvements in recruiting. So just all of that stuff, and then just partaking into the games, man, it's just so fun. But it's so much at stake, man. It's a lot of hate. Especially it's a lot of guys on our team, from Minnesota, or it might be guys on their team from Wisconsin. So, and with guys, probably wanting to go to the school and not being, offered and going to the other school. So it's just fun, man. I'm excited for the guys, and it's always cool to just be a part of this rivalry.
Yeah, man.
Bro.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was about to say, bro, this is one of them games, bro, this is the hard. I think these are one of the games, like, this is the hardest I've ever played, bro. Because, like, from the beginning to the end, bro, it's chippy. They play dirty. They talk crap. Bro, I remember 2014, bro, just putting a stamp on your senior on the senior year's last game of the season. We played them at home, bro. I swear, from the first quarter to the last quarter, bro, putting the center, the guard in the backfield every snap, about 3-4 yards deep, bro, not giving a freak. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, it felt so good doing that. There was also a play we had where, and I can't remember if it was the second or the third quarter. I gotta show it to you another time, but Marcus Trotter
throw it in the pod, man.
Hey, bro, y'all gonna see it, bro. Marcus Trotter made a huge stop. On it was a 4th and short, and they tried to go for it on us, trying to get momentum, bro. And just like, you could just see everybody on the front line in the backfield, bro, by like 3-4 yards. Marcus Trotter comes up and makes a big play, and just like the stadium literally exploded, bro. And just like, to be a senior at that time, to put a stamp on that game and just dominate like we did, bro, like, that's what you want to do. And just like, when we've done that every year, but just as a senior to be able to do that and walk out and have won the trophy every year, bro, it's memories like that I'll never forget, especially against Minnesota, bro. Like, when we say we hate Minnesota, bro, we hate Minnesota.
Yeah, man, this is what it's all about, especially for these seniors. Like I said, we said a little bit ago, last game of your senior year, before the bowl game, you can send them packing. You beat them in their stadium. You get to go to their sideline, take that axe, and go chop them goals. And I know none of us got to do that. Go take the axe from them because we never lost to them. So I said, I think there's even more build-up going to this football game just because they had the axe. They've had it for 2 years. I know Luke Fickle. This is his first year there, but I know he embraces what this axe week means to this program. I think all the new guys will get a good feel for it. Like you said, Sojourn, how they showed the video on Thursday after practice. And I'm sure they'll be doing that all week long to make sure these guys are locked in, prepared, ready to go. I said, we know we've secured a bowl game, but I think this is even more important for the program to get that axe back. I said, you shared a story about that game in 2013. I remember that football game. It was It was freezing cold, man. I started off
9
the game,
degrees, negative 27 wind chill.
Started off the game with a
Crazy.
long run.
Yeah.
But as the game went on, like I don't never cramp like none of that. Like it was that cold. I had to run. It was like wide open. It was the third or fourth quarter. I saw it on tape. There was nobody there. I probably would have had like a 60-yard touchdown. I tripped in the backfield, had cramps in my calves. It was so cold. They had me drinking a Powerade on the sideline. The Powerade was freezing cold. I'm over there shivering. But I said, you do anything to get back in that football game and dominate them, dog. This battle means everything to this school, and I think you learn about it so much. The more you're there, like as a freshman, you understand a little bit. Then sophomore year, junior year, senior year, I think it becomes even more important because you want to go out the right way. You want to keep all those trophies in that trophy room at Wisconsin, dog. I said I'm excited for this game. There's a lot at stake for them. Not as much at stake for us, but I think, like I said, they have that trophy in their possession. So I think there is a lot at stake. I mean, it's gonna be exciting, dog, and to beat them on their home turf, man.
Home turf.
It's gonna be great. But that's
That's
a wrap for this week's Camp Randall Platoon podcast. I'm James White, along with Sojourn Shelton, Warren Herring. It's Axe Week. We gotta get the dub. We gotta get the Axe back. Let's get it, you dub.
Yep.